Hello everybody, Eric here. I thought I'd do a garden tour of the main garden area and start out here with Stewart's Z-Best okra. And it is Z-Best okra for me. I've tried several different kinds over the years, and this does the best. It branches heavily, 7-8 feet tall, and I have a few more areas with a few plants each, but this is the main bed of okra. And I find that planting fewer plants, taking better care of them, is a lot better than planting a lot of plants and not being able to keep up with them. Not being able to fertilize them, water them right. So this doesn't look like much, but taken care of, this will produce a lot of okra, and especially with the Z-Best variety. And as we move on over here, I got figs planted all through here. Plan on doing a fig tour pretty soon. Got some gooseberries. There's quite a few gooseberries on them this year, but they're not ripe yet. We'll do a video about the gooseberries soon. Coming up here, this is my garlic bed. It doesn't look very organized, but that's how I garden. You know, just I don't worry too much about weeds. Got some lamb's quarters growing up in there, some Jerusalem artichokes, and this garlic is a rocambole type hardneck garlic, and it'll make the bulbils on top after this sets, and then I can just scatter those everywhere and let garlic come up wherever it wants to. And there's lots of varieties in here. I don't even really know what they are. I got a lot from relatives, but I know they are the types that set bulbils on top, so they are a hardneck type garlic. Some of them are red, some of them are white. I've even got one in here. It's the cloves are almost purple, really fuchsia red colored. So we'll see how those go here. Look, they're starting to, a few of them are starting to bloom, I think, so it won't be long. We'll be seeing what the garlic bulbs look like. And this is one of my asparagus beds. I got some amaranth in there, lamb's quarters. There is some ground cherry. It's blooming, and it is perennial. It comes up every year. Same spot right in my asparagus bed. So, and it's not hurting a thing. I mulch it heavily with leaves in the spring or fall whenever I have them. And weeds, you know, they just really, they don't hurt anything. Got a Chicago hardy fig over here. But we'll go back up here toward the fenced-in garden. And here's a gummy berry that did not bloom this year. Maybe next year, we'll see. Now, autumn olives. Lots of berries. Look at the berries on there. I mean, of course, they're not near ready yet. They're not near ripe, but the most productive shrubs. And I've got Nanking cherries in their first and second year, planted all up through here. There's Nanking cherries there. I've got these are Dorman red raspberry canes. These are next year's canes, but these were given to me by a very good friend, and they've already bloomed. They close their petals up around the raspberry until the raspberry starts getting ripe, and then they open back up. But very good raspberry for for the heat, for the south, and very drought tolerant. And also that is a boysenberry coming up in there. And here is another Nanking cherry. Okay, I got Jerusalem artichokes given to me by a friend. And these, oh man, I don't know why Jerusalem artichokes aren't everywhere. They just, they're so valuable, such a valuable food source in permaculture. One plant, you know, last year made, you know, a pound or two of Jerusalem artichoke tubers. Just amazing. And this is one of my Brightwell blueberries. I've got a lot of rabbit eye blueberries, and I'll be doing a blueberry tour pretty soon too. They're going to be ripening up pretty soon. Okay, tomatoes. Now this is the tropic tomatoes, and they've grown quite a bit since last week's video on the tomato circle. And they're starting to put on some nice tomatoes in there. Let's see if I get a few tomatoes on video. They're so the foliage is so thick, can't hardly get in there to see the tomatoes, but very very productive tomatoes. And there's the Aconcagua peppers, and looks like we're going to be able to see pretty soon, if they really get as big as they say, the bloom that has going to form a pepper soon. So we go up into the main garden. This is a UC 157 asparagus bed, and right over there is another Brightwell blueberry. We go into the fence garden. This is the black cherry tomato. Now it is out the top of the cage. It's loose, and some of the lower branches have actually bent over and are going down toward the ground. But man, this thing, I hope they're good tomatoes, because it's making a lot. Look at that. And there's another set, and then down here is another set. And there's another black cherry tomato, but it's, you know, it's out the top of the cage too, but it's not as healthy as this first one here. This here is Musselburgh leek flowers. Pollinators love these. Absolutely love them. Huge pom-pom flowers. Those leeks got big. I'll be planting Musselburghs again soon. There's a star of the show. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Lemon basil. Very fragrant. Very good basil. And here's the first tomato circle. Swiss Alpines. Setting very well. And these tomatoes, they're almost, well, that one is kind of out the top of the cage there. They're almost out the top of the cage, and this is June 2nd, I believe, or 3rd. And they really have taken off. I didn't plant them till the last week of April. It was so cold. But here's next year's Musselburgh leek patch. And I'll get in there and get some of those weeds out pretty soon. But they're not hurting anything. Got some Tithonia coming up in there. Volunteer. And here's the other tomato circle. This is a cherry tomato Volunteer that I found growing that I saved seeds from. Very productive. Got some black crims in here. There's some black Krim tomatoes. There's some tomatoes over here forming. Now this tomato circle, I don't know if it's variety difference. It's not doing quite as well. I mean, they're still great, but you can see they're still, ways from the top of the cage. So, and this one was done with hay. This other one was done with leaves. So I don't know if that could make that much difference. But tomatoes do like a little bit more acid. So, this other bed has been having rotted leaves for quite some time, quite a few years, 2 or 3 years anyway. So maybe it's the pH, maybe it's more acid and they like it better. This here, Red Ripper peas. Now they are a vining cowpea. And so a friend of mine let me have a bunch of bamboo, and I built this trellis system here. And that may look excessive for cowpeas, but these Red Ripper cowpeas vines can grow 15 feet, if not more. I've had them grow over trees. Over this tree, actually, right here, this is a Vaccinium arboreum. It's a tree huckleberry. It's a type of Vaccinium blueberry, and they just got done blooming. They won't be ripe until closer to fall, but some trees taste better than others, but I let this grow right in the middle of my garden. It was here when I built the garden, and it's going to stay. Great pollinator plant, great fruit. And this here is my row of jalapenos. All the way down there, jalapenos. And this is the row of cayennes. And these are chimayos. And they've already got peppers on them down here.